What's going on, everybody? It's me, Jason with buybuildsell, your Los Angeles contractor and developer. And today we are shooting gunite at our Radcliffe pool. I'm super excited about it. I want to say approaching that 6-month mark of actually getting a permit for this pool. So it took a really long time to get here. So I'm really excited that we have it. Now that we have it, we're able to get this pool done and get the hardscape started and actually really start moving this job forward. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to see how this pool turns out. Let's go check it out. But of course, before we do, what do you gotta do? You know what to do. Press that like button, press that subscribe button, and of course, press the bell button. It lets you know more videos are being uploaded every single week, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Let me know you're here in the comments. All right, guys, so right now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be shooting our string lines to make sure that everything is perfectly square. We shoot those string lines, make sure that the pool is square, and that's where we're gonna be cutting the gunite once it starts drying up and curing. Of course, we have the whole house protected. We got our tarps up, so we're not disrupting or hurting anything. Let's hope that we don't hit the house because it's not easy to clean, but thankfully it can be cleaned. So we'll hope that happens. And of course, as they get going, they're going to be cutting out for the plumbing. They're gonna be cutting out for the electrical and making sure that we can get all of our valves and hoses and all that stuff getting in there. Everything will look perfect later. Of course, you can always go back to our gunite versus shotcrete video and find out more details about gunite and shotcrete. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing that bolt being shot for the pool cover. So the pool cover is gonna be able to go in there. That's an automatic pool cover with a track, which will slide all the way through. It's a really nice luxury feature that we put on these pools, and I always love doing them as much as possible. Some pools don't allow for it, or it's kind of harder to do, especially with smaller spaces. But since we have such a large backyard here, we're really able to get this thing in, and I think it just ups that luxury level just a tad more. So I'm excited about this thing. We got the jacuzzi going in. That's gonna be great. We have a nice step going in there. We have a nice bench in there, and it'll fit enough people to have a fun party. Today we finally have the pool shot. So I'm excited to see it. We have coping starting, so I can't really wait to kind of check this pool out and see what we got going on over here. All right, guys, so now we're finally at the pool. This looks amazing. The rebar going in for the coping, we're looking at how the coping is set. Obviously, we want to make sure that this coping is set level and perfect, so that way we can set our hardscape levels, because obviously we're gonna be starting the hardscape soon as well. So after that, of course, we have all of our bonding done around the pool. We have all of our steel wrapped in copper wires that'll bond electricity. So that way, if there is any electricity that does hit the pool, hopefully it's bonded to that wire first before it's bonded to the body, right? Look at that. I guess it doesn't matter how often or how particular you are with protection. Sometimes you have a baby. No, is that not funny? Let me know in the comments. So I guess, so this is a little tough to get off. This is gunite that's been shot to the house. And because these boards are actually fibrous boards as well, it's definitely gonna have some adhesion to it. So this is all gonna have to get sanded off. The painter now has a fun job to clean this off, sand it off, and get it back to normal. It comes off pretty easy on the glass. The glass actually doesn't retain it as much, but this material will. So we'll have to sand that off and clean it. It is what it is. The pool looks great. I'm excited about this. So we have the Volt for the pool cover. That'll be an automatic pool cover that'll slide right over the whole entire thing. We're gonna have a nice fountain going across this wall. We'll have a few fountain jets popping out. Really cool water feature here. We're gonna have a walkway going along this whole entire space here, which will allow for a nice lounging space. We have a barbecue going there, and we have a fire pit going here in this location. So this will be really cool. So we'll have a nice little hangout space by the ADU. So this will create a nice little hangout space for here. And then in the middle space, we're going to put grass. So there's still play space here, and it's looking good. I'm happy with the progress we have. I always like to feel out the pool after we shoot it, feel out the height, the elevations, where we're kind of gonna land when we're done, because I don't normally go swimming in the pools once they're actually filled. So I kind of like to know where my head's gonna be. Not so bad. So I'm just under 6 feet. I'm probably like 5'10", 5'11". Whatever, it's the internet, let's lie. I'm 6 feet, right? Not so bad. It's about 5.5 maybe, call it. Not so bad. Once you get into the center a little bit more, definitely goes down a little bit more to eye level. But remember that the water line is probably somewhere about here actually. Now this is the bond beam to kind of prevents the water from coming over into the vault for the cover. We're wrapping this in a nice tile. And that cover is probably usually gonna stay right about here, in the middle of this, usually. Maybe sometimes closer to the front, kind of depends on how much room is in that vault for the cover to be in there. Now, it's also important to wet this down as often as possible. The reason being to prevent as much cracking as possible. So for this pool, we're gonna be using the Hayward company to do all the pumps and the jets and all the system automation for the pool itself. Hayward is a great company to use. They have a really automated smart system that they use, and I've been using it for most of my pools, and it's really easy to use. So link to Hayward in my description. Check out their company, cool company. So here in the barbecue, we're building this barbecue out of CMU. 9 out of 10 times, that's what I'm building them out of. The most important thing is really just getting that bottom elevation correct, because you wanna make sure that as you're building it, you're actually allowing for the rest of the concrete that you're doing the hardscape on to form up against it and for it all to kind of be equal and present and perfect. So we've actually set elevation markers here to allow, so we know that's actually like, we need to come up that much just to hit the first, the concrete setting. And then we're gonna come up 36 inches above that for our countertop. Here we also have the barbecue ending exactly where we're gonna have the hardscape ending on the other side of the backyard. So pulling those string lines and making sure that everything works out perfectly is really important at this stage of the game. When we start building this thing and it doesn't work out, that's not fun for anyone. Now, when building a fire pit, obviously the elevations are important. I like to keep mine about 18 inches high. The reason for that is because as you're sitting, 18 inches is about the nice height where you can kick your legs up, put your feet up on top of it, and it actually feels pretty comfortable. Right now, this is actually pretty high, but as the grade gets level, you're actually bringing it up, and it should be about 18 inches to the finish. The most important thing about doing these, especially when you're doing them against a house, is make sure there's enough clearance. So I actually put enough space to fit a nice couch about 30 to 32 inches, somewhere in this space where they can be up against this and still feel like they're not tight up against that couch. They can still walk through this section. It's really important. But we also don't want to eat into the yard as well. So we're kind of confining it and making it a tight space, but at the same time making sure that once that furniture goes in, we're not confined to that furniture. We still have access all the way around. We still have the freedom to move and feel comfortable in the space. So you'll have the same feeling right about here before that pad ends and grass begins. That's a wrap on the beginning of hardscape. We're really kicking this thing off, pushing forward to the end. We're almost done here. It's looking amazing. I can't wait to get you guys to show you guys the finish, and I'll see you on the next video.